TV.
We are reporting back for the last time from pitch 1 at the University of Limerick. 2 finals of today in the books, 1 more to go. We have another North American matchup before us. Reboot out of the US will take on StellO out of Canada. Behind the mic for the last time is for your pleasure and entertainment, Rachel Toshnerova, joined by the one and only Troy Weston. Troy, so happy to finally meet you and see you again in the commentary booth. We did the opening game together. Now we're going to be closing the tournament with this last final. Can you quickly walk us through the history of these 2 teams at this tournament?
Absolutely. Thank you for that wonderful opening, Rachel. And so Reboot squad, StellO, coming from the same pool, actually, from the beginning of the tournament. 2 pools, 9 teams per pool, 18 teams total on this women's masters side. Reboot squad going 8-0 in pool play. StellO going 7-1 in pool play with their only loss to Reboot squad earlier in the tournament. 15-7 score in that game. Both teams having wins over Ripe, Masterclass, Seagulls, PD Extra, Macramé, Spanglish, and Les Culettes. Reboot squad coming into the quarters, faced off against LMU, winning over them 15-8. Moving on to the semis versus Lowercase yesterday, and a 15-7 win over them. So StellO on the other side of the bracket in the quarters, facing up against Molly Gray with a 15-8 score there. And then semi-game versus Soar, a 15-10 score there. So both of them coming into this game, refreshed legs from a night off. And we will see if StellO can do better than their last game against them and maybe come out with a win.
They will surely start on defense as the pull from green goes up. And here's the Reboot own line. Synchrope on the brick mark. And that is a quick turnover off of the second pass. That pass was just a bit too far for Hoffman. Comenda immediately picks up the well-known solid lefty handler for this Canadian side. She gets the disc again, goes through to the break side to Green, continues to Dunbar. Dunbar now knocking on the doorstep. Can StellO open with a break? Here it is. That is Rachel Ng with the score, and StellO open up in an exciting fashion, going up by 1 break, 0-1 for StellO.
And what an incredible way for the Canadians to start off this game. Melissa Dunbar, otherwise known as Muff back in Canada, into the hands of Ng.
Incredibly athletic grab, as an attempted grab by Hoffman. But again, here is StellO going through the break side. They've been doing it all tournament so far. Not too many teams being able to properly stop the solid and aggressive defensive line of StellO, featuring the superstars of Dunbar, Green, Komenda, etc., etc. I could go on and on, really. In any case, that turnover was sort of given to the Canadians by Reboot, and I don't think they'll be looking to make many more mistakes like that. Let's see if it will become decisive. Green with another pull. This one will hang and bounce and will be caught immediately, centered to Sinicrope. Sinicrope sporting a highlighter pink headband. She doesn't have too many options. She will go to the break side, but a stall out will be called.
And we are just seeing some stifling defense downfield so far from the StellO players, just absolutely offering 0 options upfield for the Reboot squad, having to look at her reset right away.
Sinicrope finds Hoffman in the break side eventually. Mozaffari gets the disc, but a pick call will stop the play and return the disc to the hands of Hoffman. And as the players agree on the stall out, which will be signaled by the game advisor from the sideline as well, Mozaffari gets the disc. Swings it wide to Groom. Cami Groom, the absolute stats leader in this women's masters division. She's been second so far, but that was without this last game. Here is Mozaffari with a gainer right in front of the end zone. Groom now knocking on the doorstep. Doesn't take the up line. And is signaling another call on the field. I believe there was some kind of marking infraction.
Looks like it, just a little bit of contact there. The marker does have to give the thrower a disc space at least, and obviously move back if the person is pivoting a bit.
Here's Groom with a leading pass. Dunbar slips on the defense, and Hoffman with a score for Reboot. Reboot holds.
And Hoffman coming in with one of the top 3 leaders on the scoreboard for Reboot. Hoffman with 12 assists and 12 goals coming into this game. So that was a good response by Reboot squad, but they are still down 1 break. So they're gonna need to catch that up. And here we see that nice smooth pass from Groom into the end zone. We can see why she is the very top of the scoreboard, as you were mentioning there, Rachel. 21 assists and 20 goals. That's about 20 more than anyone else on her team.
It just happens sometimes. That's just how it goes. In any case, so the O-line of Reboot looking a tiny bit shaky, some uncharacteristic errors right at the start, but eventually they do reel it in. But definitely a solid start, solid energy from StellO, coming and streaking as their D-line always does. And now we will get a chance to experience the Reboot D-line, starring Ross with a huge pull that is floating, giving the defense plenty of time to get there, but it will sail out of bounds eventually.
And it was enjoying Stella's sideline, singing a bit of White Stripes, cheering on their O-line going out there.
Boulanger picks up for StellO. This will be a really nice matchup against Sinicrope, the other Sinicrope, of course, Castle. Amber being on the O-line. Here's Boulanger with an upline cut, and she's not afraid to put it. It goes to the end zone. It's curving. Defenders underneath. and it is Sparks with the score over Ross. There's not that many people that can do well against Ross, but it seems like a foul will be called. And again, all the captains, smarty pants in the stands will get involved with their expressions of approval or disapproval. In any case, it seems like it will be called a point. StellO staying up, and here is Sparks with a white smile, and we'll see another replay of this. You can judge for yourself how much of contact there was.
Realizes she's out of position, just comes in front of the player there instead of waiting for it to come to her, attacking that disc. Kaylee Sparks, really nice read.
I think that was good spirit out of Ross. She was having good possession, but Sparks really last second came through, and I think Ross might have tripped over her a little bit, but in any case, Sparks was attacking the disc first. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in at the WFDF YouTube channel. We love to see involvement in the chat. Please keep the comments coming. We will read through them when we get a little bit of time. Pass on your greetings, cheers, messages, feedback, advice. I'm sure there'll be plenty for the players on the field because we've all played so many Worlds finals. And here's a high disc from Reboot. No one can get there, sort of lands in between two receivers. And this is a big break opportunity. Commenda walks to the disc decisively. She'll be using that lefty gun of hers. Finds Dunbar. Dunbar Groom being another great matchup from this Masters Women's Final. Here is a good upline cut from Green. Does she have a continuation? She immediately turns to the center. Huge break. Wobbled, but saved by Dunbar. Another call will stop the play, but StellO getting dangerously close.
We get a second look at that little bobbled catch, but
Green goes back to Dunbar. They just need one more pass, and they get it for the break. That's an excellent score, an excellent piece of play. Jessie Brown with the score. StellO go up 3-1.
What a strong opening we're seeing from the Canadians here. Just bam, bam breaks right off the bat. I mean, if you are Reboot, you're thinking about calling it, and yes, I see the T for the timeout being called there.
So after this slightly unfortunate start for Reboot, which they're very well capable of recovering from, it makes only sense to take that expert move and call a timeout, which the teams do. And we will leave you with a little word from our sponsors. Checking out. Welcome back after the timeout. We have the last finals of today, last finals of this World Masters Ultimate Club Championship. This is the Women's Masters Final between Reboot Squad out of the US, taking on StellO from Canada. StellO sort of almost taking Reboot by surprise, Troy, right? They come in streaking, get 2 breaks not in a row, I never know. Regardless, they go up 3-1, and here they are with another pull. Ross now transitioning to the O-line, just to change things up a little bit, finds Hoffman. Hoffman will return to the original spot from which she accidentally traveled. Now Synchrope on the near sideline. Finds the break pass. And that one was close, but will be collected. That's a hold. Ross, no hesitation, absolutely no stress. We didn't see that she would get super conservative just because they're behind. She wasn't afraid to take that slightly, not necessarily risky throw, but there was defense nearby. We'll see that again.
Just beautiful cut up the line to that power position, reeling that backhand down the field. Absolutely wonderful use of her separation from her defender there and into the arms of Hoffman. Now, if you're Reboot squad coming out of that timeout, maybe you're coming into this game thinking, you know, we've done our job so far at this tournament. We've really been rolling through these teams. Not a lot of the teams hitting the double digits against them, if any, in fact. And you know, a fairly comfortable win against StellO earlier in the tournament with that 15-7 lead. Maybe they came out maybe a little bit too confident.
We are yet to see Boulanger centers the disc for StellO. Now looking for options. We'll have to go backwards. That's Hartley. We'll have to go through the break side again. Ryu puts up a floaty forehand for the end zone. Defense is underneath, knocks it away, second chance. Ow! There it is, there it is.
A classic move of catch your D's, but the game advisors are waving their arms. Something has happened, but it is
called up. I think it was an up or down call. We see both teams signaling with their hands that it will be up, meaning a score. StellO keep the point difference at 2. We'll see the huge replay. Great heads up D from Gorman, but Polowick collects anyway despite the contact on the catch.
And if you're on offense and you're running for that disc and you see that defender getting in your way, it's not over till it's over. As you can see, just knocks it away, especially in the windy conditions like this where you never know where the disc is going to go with one little tap or like a clear hand on that, knocking it away. But yeah, definitely, I mean, she's going to hear it on the sideline. It's obvious, catch your D's, but what a heads up second effort grab from Polowick.
Polowick, one of the big forces for StellO offense downfield. No wonder she was getting ready to make that catch all tournament. Zipperstein centers to Ross. Ross staying on that O-line, knowing that they need to keep scoring so that they can focus on better D. Synchrope now short on options. Zipperstein gets it eventually. He's got people deep, doesn't take it, finds Groom on the far sideline. Ross is open in the back, but she's gonna wait for this upline cut from Synchrope. Synchrope rips it! She saw the space in the break side, but that throw went out of her hand a bit too quickly with a bit too much energy. And that's another turnover for Reboot. Dunbar with a high grab. Dunbar puts it up. Defense is underneath. Oh! An incredible grab. Jacques continues to Ing. And a game stoppage. So another one of them. I believe the Reboot players have gotten used to throughout the tournament to just stand in the right position and wait for the disc to sail into their hands because they just have these excellent positioning skills. But these Canadians mean business. They don't care where Reboot is standing. They will just get right in front of them to grab that disc. Super aggressive, attacking the disc.
That was an unreal grab by Jacques.
And Comenda pushing through defenders for another break for StellO. And they're getting ecstatic in front of the end zone. That was another incredible grab. That is the aggressiveness StellO has been consistently showing throughout the tournament.
I am almost speechless right now. This run of breaks from StellO, absolutely incredible to see from my fellow Canadians out there. I definitely have a little bit of heart feeling with him on the field. Such an exciting start to this game.
It is really fun to watch, to finally somebody really streaking and coming into a game with energy and determination. And we've seen it time and time again. Just wait for another close-up of the Canadian D-line. You will see that they're so ready to work hard in this game. I'm not sure if they imagined coming up 5-2 right at the beginning. You know, we're only 16 minutes in. That's crazy. But also, obviously, the players on the other side from Reboot have been in these situations, and I believe they will give us a good game. And given that you are Canadian, I'm going to have to root for a good ultimate and hoping for a tight game, because we haven't had the closest finals so far. Well, here's another almost D, but Reboot keeps possession. They find Groom on the sideline, but it seems like there was some contact downfield. We see a defender on the ground. She's gonna check her equipment. That was Jacques. So a little discussion regarding the stall count. If the foul was uncontested, it will come in on 0.
Coming in at 3, so I guess it was contested.
But another pick stops the game almost immediately after.
It's nice to see a good discussion between these two players. Probably played each other lots and lots of times before. Groom and Dunbar. Smiles on their faces as they're discussing. They're just going to the game advisor probably for a little bit of clarification on the rules. The game advisors are there to provide clarification. They can also provide their point of view, but they don't make any rulings or any binding rulings at all in this game, unlike the observers, which these two North American teams may be slightly more used to. But instead, it will go to the players, always back to the players to make that final call.
Groom goes for the around to Ross. Ross with her signature gesture of open arms, signaling that she would like a bit more options. Here's Wong. Of course, Wong and Ross being the winners at Windmill just the weekend before last weekend. So they do have 2 big tournaments right after each other. Here's Tangerlini, who finds Groom in front of the end zone. Big fakes from Groom. Tangerlini into the end zone for the score. Good haul, they smack it to the ground. I believe that was Elena Schwamm with the score for Reboot.
Maybe the fact that they did Windmill beforehand is showing a little bit of wear and tear on their bodies. They haven't lost any bodies, I say, knock on wood, but they haven't lost any bodies yet this week, or I guess in Windmill at all either. So there have been quite a few teams out here that have been losing a few players, and Reboot squad, as we look at this replay here, nice, patient, really good hands.
So Elena Schwamm is 35 years old, and we always love to give sort of empowerment. We try to let the empowerment shine from our streams. So please know that Elena is coming back a better player after having a cancer treatment in 2016. It's just wonderful to see how much you can still achieve after bad things have happened to you. We've had players coming back from different types of injuries, 2 Achilles tendon tears, just crazy stuff, and they're still out there competing for the top ranks. So if you are in that situation yourself, please believe that you can come back from anything. These inspiring women are proving that anything is possible. StellO is back on O Walking the disc to the brick mark is Dominique Rieu. Breakside to Vachon. Continue breakside. Here's the defense underneath. Smack to the ground. Good effort by Casey Gorman, finally getting the D. First chance for Reboot to break. Zipperstein. Big breakside throw to Gorman. And a pick call. Gives the disc right back. Stall count coming in at 6. They center to Wang. Wang finds Hoffman. Another pick call stops the play. We've had a few. The wind, the fatigue, the pitches, they don't help.
We have the chat getting the Reboot squad fired up, asking for a break, but StellO hold on to the disc again.
A huge ripper, 2 defenders underneath, and Hoffman this time leaves absolutely no space for the StellO receiver, and Zipperstein stops the play due to a pick downfield. That was good heads-up defense from both teams in these past few seconds. Zipperstein centers to Chan. Chan takes the inside, and that's an incredible save by Sinecrope. Little give and go action, and here's the forehand into the end zone. Wide open, Casey Gorman. That is almost a bookend. She got the D earlier on in this point. And Reboot squad stay close. Oh no, was that a break?
Yes.
Yes, a break. I am so bad at this. I get too fascinated by the action on the field that I forgot to count my points. So Reboot finally take one break off of StellO's run. Here is the forehand again. Snagged out of the air by Hoffman. How does she land like that and doesn't break anything? And here's the ripper from Reboot into the end zone. Yeah.
Going around the outstretched arms of Dominique Rieu. Placement like that from the handler, just no chance on the defense there, even though she's, as I like to say in the photo, she's close, but just perfect placement from the handler.
And here you get a little bit of the fans circling around the pitch. It is a lovely venue here at the University of Limerick. Besides stands, we also have hills, grassy hills surrounding about 3/4 of the pitch, where you can sit at your convenience, enjoy the final. And here's a run through D by Groom. Reboot immediately go the other way. They need one more break to even things out. Mozaffari backwards to Cohen. And here's the score! Another quick break. Incredible mental toughness by Reboot, coming back streaking.
And it looks like there's going to be a timeout, and rightly so, from the StellO team here, wanting to stop the momentum of Reboot coming back and tying up this score. I think StellO is still ahead 1 break, and they do want to stop Reboot on this roll right now, so the timeout may be a good call for them. And as they take a break, we will too.
Checking out.
international sports federation responsible for the world governance of flying disc or frisbee sports, including ultimate, beach ultimate, disc golf, freestyle, guts, and individual events. WFDF is also the signatory to the world, or a signatory to the World Anti-Doping Code and a registered not-for-profit in the corporation in the state of Colorado.
And here's StellO with what is not their typical O-line. We see no boulanger, and here's an overthrow to Green. That's unfortunate. Mosafari tries to pick up immediately, going for the quick response, trying to punch in a third break in a row is Reboot. And lucky for StellO, they get the disc back. Green picks up. There's a poach in the open side. Dunbar now gets the up line. Has a person striking deep, but her mark prevents that pass. See a bit of almost a front mark, I would say. She goes backwards to Green. They swing it wide to Comenda. Comenda with a ripper lefty backhand. Hospital pass. Huddle underneath. And it will be the high statue of Ellie Steinfeld who gets a hand on that disc first.
I mean, it looks like there's going to be a call on that, as maybe there should be. You often hear a lot of teams or players saying, but I got the disc first as their excuse for contact. But if they are not able to get the disc cleanly without contact, it is still a foul. So we're going to see what the players decide on the field.
In the meantime, Steinfeld is out of Portland, Oregon. She is a teacher, a couple of teachers on both of these squads actually, just like almost any ultimate team. It's almost like you can't have a good ultimate team without a teacher or an educator on it. She would like to say hi to her fans at home, which is her spouse Adrian and their kids Avery and Bennett. So we're sending hellos to Portland, Oregon. And in the meantime, hopefully, with the help of the game advisor, the players can resolve the call on the field. And as we see, or hear rather, the whistle signaling the passing of the time limit for the discussion, it seems like we will just send the disc back.
So that will be a foul contested.
Yeah, I think it looked like all players were just going for the disc. Difficult to tell whether there was any second chance for anyone. Feel free to replay that video as many times as you want, but Comenda will retake possession for StellO. Activating Green. Nothing there for the break side. There will be something eventually. It's a long shot from Desjardins in the middle. Another chance for Reboot. They quickly move the other way. Wong almost falls as she slides on the grass. Here's Steinfeld, the author of that previous D. Cassie Wong, another one from the Prima Donna squad that had so much fun at about 2 weeks ago at Windmill, winning the gold there as well as the Spirit Prize. Wang goes back to Steinfeld. Steinfeld continues in front of the end zone. And that's another one for the score. Third break in a row for Reboot. Casey Gorman with a score.
We are now back on serve for this game. Several breaks for both of these teams. StellO with the initial breaks off the bat. Reboot squad really buckling down and kicking up their game a notch and getting back in it. Now 7-6 for Reboot squad. And just a little bit about Ali Steinfeld, who got that D, and then such an important a couple of passes involved in the play on the offense for Reboot squad once they got the turn. Yesterday, it looked like she got a little bit injured in the game that I was commentating. I think there was a big bid between her and one of the girls on lowercase, and it was accidental, but the lowercase girl's cleat, I think, came up and clipped her chin. But
so she got a little injured is what you're saying, with a cleat in her face.
I'm glad to see that she seems to be okay playing back on the field in absolute full force.
And here's Boulanger, who's been absolutely huge, only really adding assists to her stats record for StellO, but of course one of the main handlers for their offense. Like I said, it's a nice match. Throw goes to the ground.
That is really uncharacteristic of Boulanger, who some of you might know as Anne Mercier, a former World Games player for Canada.
So Reboot now with no need for aggressiveness, really. They have plenty of time, knowing that there's another chance for a break, and they have done it before and can do it again. Here's Groom. Fake and open side, fake and break side. Cynic Rope now has it. Goes to the middle to France. Continue through the break side. Groom in the red zone. She's got France. Thinks about the lefty pop into the end zone. And here's the last second defense. Boulanger taps the disc in. No need for that under the WFDF rules. She puts a ripper backhand up for her favorite target. And here is a second goal for Sparks.
Bookends for Kaylee Sparks, having a piece of that D in the Reboot end zone. So important to stop that break for half. And she gets all the way down to the other side of the field. True bookends for Kaylee Sparks.
Zhao with the assist. There was a really good, we will see that again on the replay. So Boulanger, no hesitation, winds up. Zhao reads that well despite that pressure. Cami Groom, good self-control, not running into Zhao, between Zhao. And here's Sparks with the second goal of the game, and she's been big for StellO. You see her in the handler space, you see her downfield, despite her small frame, all over the place.
And this pass from Zhao could easily be
overthrown.
A miss throw.
Yep.
Just like so excited getting that break downfield and just perfectly weighted and leading Sparks into the end zone.
What I really like out of one of these comments in the YouTube section, Patrick Gorman, hopefully related to the Gorman that you've been seeing on the field, says, "Come on, squad, carpe diem." And that is really the motto that you should enter every final with, regardless of whether you're the underdog or the team that's the tournament favorite. I think that is really the only way to approach it right. Here's a really good gainer to Wong. And Zipperstein puts one deep, but this one will be too far for Reboot. But there isn't much fear, I don't think, from Reboot. They have now found out that they're more than capable to get whatever breaks they suffer back off of StellO. Here's Komenda. Winds up, puts it deep. It's hanging. Defenders underneath. We need good positioning. Oh, and here is Jacques.
Oh, you can hear the stands are not happy about that call.
I do feel like there was a little bit of pushing. It's very hard for me to tell who was pushing who. It's up to you for your assessment. What you think. The game advisor probably had a good perspective from the sideline, so the players might call him in to add on that.
They're also welcome to come over to the booth here if they want to have a look at the replay on the screen. They absolutely don't have to. We can't offer it to them, but if they so chose to do so, they are allowed.
In any case, we're getting good engagement in the YouTube comments. Out of both sides, it seems like we have both StellO and Reboot fans. In any case, Komenda will have to show off her backhand gun one more time as the disc goes back to her. Komenda already with one goal in this game. Goes to Jessie Brown. Brown to Green. Love that combination. And here is an overthrow. Zipperstein has the disc. Not too many Reboot players in front of her, so she'll opt for some give and go action. Hoffman on the near sideline. Swings it wide. Tangerlini into the middle to Des Sabado, but a game stoppage due to a pick.
6-6, both of these teams really wanting to push this in.
A wobble by Tangerlini due to tight defense, but she gets that break off to Wong. And Wong for the score to Hoffman. Reboot go up 7-6, leaving StellO slightly startled. Honestly, Troy, it seemed to me like StellO had that energy at the start. They were so happy. It was working so well. Reboot maybe entering the game sort of more laid back, chilled, kind of, this is what we expected, so we're going to come out here and see how it goes. Then realizing that the Canadians weren't going to give it up so easy, so really had to turn on the Jets, which they did, scoring 3 breaks in a row and then adding another one on top of it. They obviously know how to do it. Like I said, they've played tight games. They've been in worse situations, and obviously without mental toughness, these players wouldn't be the best in the world.
Absolutely. Reboot squad just turning it around in the first half so far, taking back the lead in this game. We are on serve right now. 3 breaks from each team so far. So at this moment in time, it is really anybody's game.
So we're seeing different faces again slightly on the StellO O-line. Ryu is looking for Boulanger, who does one of her favorite handler cuts, where she returns from the upline fake. Now she doesn't have, nope, there was a stoppage on the play.
There's a pick call downfield. Disc returning in at 8.
Boulanger goes break side to Zhao. A little backward mark by Mozaffari. Zhao has lots of traffic around the disc. Here's Boulanger. Gets slow, doesn't take the throw. Goes to a wide open Ryu. Another pick call, another stoppage.
An absolute battle of these two teams. Both defensive lines really coming down strong and hard, not letting anything up without a fight right now.
Disc gets tapped back into play. Lots of pressure. And here's Boulanger. She tries to go for the save, but it will be a turnover. Mozaffari. Groom now on the far sideline. Give and go. Ross now, she has the forehand ready. They continue. Groom really getting every other disc here, knowing that she can get some extra steps on Boulanger if she decides to do so. And here's the backhand for Groom in the end zone. That's another break. Reboot go up 8-6 and take the half.
That's just an unreal comeback from the Reboot squad, with StellO going up. The score was 5-2 at one point for StellO, and Reboot just answers that bam, 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 break after break, and come back to take the half. 8-6.
Incredibly high-level women's ultimate here. I think Reboot really used the momentum of the 3 breaks, got into StellO's head, and now they're slightly forcing them to make mistakes that they normally would not do. So we're 40 minutes into the game. Halftime goes in the favor of Reboot, but I really hope this game is not over yet. I want a tight final, Troy.
You know, I don't think it's going to be over. I think we're going to see StellO refocus, come back after half, as we will be as well. Join us.
Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the halftime interview.
Welcome onto the pitch of this finals of Women's Masters here at the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships. I'm Troy Weston, one of the commentators for this game, and I'm here on the field with Reboot Squad's very own Shelly Cohen. Shelly, how are you feeling after that first half of the game?
Well, I would say that this has been quite a battle. I'm feeling very excited. I think that we stepped it up a little bit near the end of that first half. They definitely were playing like they wanted it more, and I think that in the second half, I hope that we wanted more.
So what was it that really turned the switch on for Reboot Squad? You were down 5-2, made a mounting comeback, and managed to take the lead for half. What was it that turned it around for the team?
I think that StellO has really stepped up their defense, and they are attacking every single thing on offense. And we were sort of getting a little complacent and letting them sort of take those things on O, and we shifted and adjusted by being the ones to attack on D and really taking advantage of those like swilly throws because the wind's a little swirly. So getting under those and really working to get in position.
And coming into the second half, are we going to see anything different from Reboot Squad?
I really hope we clean up our offense a little bit, so maybe that'll be a little bit different. But other than that, I think you're in for a good fight.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. It was really nice to meet you, Shelly, and good luck in the second half. And we also have a player from StellO here. I'd love to ask a few questions. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me on the field. If you want to tell the viewers your name.
Hi, I'm Allison Burney.
Thanks, Allison. So, Allison, how do you feel about that first half? How did that go for StellO?
I think we came out really hard. I think we came out maybe a little harder than what Reboot Squad had expected. We came out with some really hard pressure defense. I think our hucks were really working. We were coming down with a lot of throws, and I think that we put a lot of pressure on that really worked in our favor.
And there was, again, that change in the middle of the first half. You were up 5-2. Do you feel like you got a bit comfortable, or did Reboot just really turn on the jets, or what was it that caused that change?
I think that they for sure realized that we were a game to put their starting line on and to really come out hard. And we could tell their defense got tighter. They put a lot of pressure on us. They forced us to make some throws that maybe we shouldn't have. The wind obviously plays a factor into this game. Coming into the second half, I think we might have to shrink the field a little bit. They're doing some really good switches that are forcing us to not allowing us to play the full width of the field. So I think if we come out with maybe a little bit of a smaller ball, that could really work against their defense.
All right, thank you. And do you have anyone that you want to say hi to back home? Any shout outs? Any friends, family?
We have 25 players here, and all still healthy. We have one player who's having her baby any day now, and that's a shout out to Brianna Jaffrey. I know that we really wanted you to be here. We hope that the delivery goes well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, very much, Allison.
Thank you so much.
And good luck in the second half. I'll be silently rooting for you. I mean, while staying
loudly.
Silently inside while trying to stay unbiased on the camera and the mic.
Stella, no. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Welcome back to the second half of action from pitch 1. Last finals of the day, last game of this tournament. WMUCC here at University of Limerick is nearing its end as Reboot squad takes the half over StellO from Canada. And luckily for StellO, they will start the second half on offense. Commenda. Faking big. She's got that backhand cannon, but goes resetting to Boulanger. Vachon. Back to Boulanger. Boulanger down the sideline to Zal, her favorite target, right in front of the end zone. Dunbar with the score. StellO opening up strong, going up 7-8.
And what a great, clean offensive point we're seeing here out of half from the StellO offensive line. That is exactly what they need to start off this half with a strong presence on the field. Can they amp up their D again to match Reboot's amped up D as well and take a couple more breaks? I guess we'll have to see.
If you're tuning in for the first time to this World Masters Ultimate Club Championship, you would maybe be interested to know that StellO is a twist on the Canadian team Stella, who will be featured at WCC later on this summer. And Reboot Squad is also a similar type of wordplay on Brute Squad out of Boston, US, another very famous American club team. You were saying, Troy, that a nice shot of the fans on the hill behind the houses of Kilmer Village where some of the teams were accommodated, including the media team. Shout out to everyone from the video crew and the production crew doing a great job all week long. Thank you so much for helping with these wonderful streams that hopefully everyone from home is enjoying. Here is Ross, goes to Sinicrope for Reboot. Sinicrope with a big forehand. Out of reach for Groom. We were talking earlier about different players throughout this week that we've had on the stream overcoming adverse conditions, not just this week on the pitch, but also generally in life, be it injuries, illnesses, etc. But we were also talking about different body types of the players. Sometimes watching on the stream, it is unclear who is which height and which size, but the important message being that whatever the size, whatever the body type, there is so much that these players are able to teach their bodies to do. Even if it doesn't look like this would be the ability the body should have, they still come out and surprise you. So I'm saying it because I'm seeing Cami Groom out there on the field. She is so skinny. She has skinnier legs than I do, and I think that is something already. And she is so fast and incredibly agile. Can jump very high when she needs to. But here's StellO with a chance to break. They put up one for Jacques. Jacques looks for continuation, but will take it easy. Almost a run through D from Groom. They go back to Dunbar. Dunbar thinks about the deep shot, but instead goes to Commenda to the break side.
And I am loving the matchup we've got with Groom and Dunbar. They have been matching up against each other for most of this game, and it is a really fun matchup to watch.
Both looking almost fragile and also not of a very tall frame, but if you have seen some of our previous streams, you would see them both flying around, not afraid to put their bodies on the line several times in one point even. If I did that over the age of 30, I would break my neck. Here's a huge grab by Jacques. Another one in this point already. StellO smelling the break potential. No reset there. They'll go for the overhead throw. Lots of pressure underneath, but StellO come down with it. That's a break for StellO. Keeping it tight. They tie at 8.
Oh, there's a call on the field.
There's going to be a little bit of discussion before.
Glad we get a second look at this so we can check it out for ourselves. That hammer, stall 9, I'm thinking.
So much pressure on Desjardins for that score. that Sadler trying to get a hand on that. Incredible pressure. Several pressured catches in that throw. But there you go, StellO celebrating. Reboot also raising their hands up in power position to keep their spirits up.
StellO players just rushing the field. Super important break. Here we're going to get to see that hammer one more time to the end zone. I feel like that was just a high stall count Hail Mary at that point, but really great heads up grab by Desjardins. StellO now back on serve, tying up the score 8-8. Their defensive line will need to get one more break, though, to take a lead in this game.
So I'm going to go into dangerous territory here, and I'm going to try to tell the viewers where these teams are from more exactly. So StellO out of Ottawa. Would that be the right pronunciation? and Reboot, hopefully, out of Boston. We've had several geography lessons here in the commentary booth throughout the tournament, making, of course, complete fools of ourselves as we come from different parts of the world and sometimes lacking knowledge, some basic knowledge on very well-known places. But here is a big pull from StellO, making Reboot work the whole length of the field.
And we've got a few players on the sideline yelling out that pull touched her foot before hitting the ground, but the players on the field didn't call anything, so we are going with them. They are the ones that have to make that call.
Schwamm activating the reset, gets it off to Tangerlini. Continuation from De Sabato back to France. Reboot really have to work hard on these resets. Tangerlini sporting the tank top. Keeps the disc as the play stops downfield for a pick.
And I will actually mention, I was looking at some of the spirit scores as well for both the teams. Oh, there's the replay on that pull. It did look like it hit her foot, but again, like I said, players on the field have to be the ones to make that call.
Hoffman, closely marked by Dunbar. Gets it off to Tangerlini. Here's Wang. Wang with already one. Oh, another stoppage. We see Reboot centering in the end zone, hoping to maybe employ one of their set plays. Tangerlini taps the disc back in. Goes around for the leading pass, pressure underneath, but Reboot come down with it.
And Franz getting underneath that, one of the captains of the Reboot squad, who is another high school teacher. Went to school in Kansas, actually. So you were mentioning earlier that Reboot squad mainly from the Boston area. They did mention they have a few people on the team from Philly and even DC. But Claire Franz, University of Kansas coach, vice president of events for the Kansas City Ultimate Board of Directors, TD of various tournaments, USAU Club Division Women's Player Rep. So lots of experience that we have on the field, not surprising in a Masters tournament.
She also married her high school sweetheart in June 2022. Congratulations. And lucky for her, he's also a Frisbee player, and they have an adorable cat named Woodson.
Aww.
Reboot go up 9-8 over StellO from Canada. Here's Sparks. She's been huge for StellO. Up and down field. She has 2 goals to her name, I believe. And here's Ross, listening to some instructions, hopefully from the sideline from her teammates as she gets ready to pull. We're 60 minutes into this game, out of this 100-minute match, and this pull is huge. Goes all the way into the StellO end zone. Boulanger will work again with Dominique Rieu and Vachon in the handling space. Seems like match D from the Americans. Can this be run down? No, it is denied. Jackie Wang getting into position to prevent a second chance on that. She picks up the disc immediately, but it goes a little bit in the other direction. Another turnover. Boulanger signaling that she wants more in cuts from her teammates. And here's a put in the end zone. That's a thing of beauty. Sparks with her third goal of this game. StellO tie at 9. Sparks is having a blast out there.
A much needed hold from StellO. A really close call. Reboot with another opportunity for a break. StellO getting the disc back. Here we're gonna see that again. Just a stellar placement from Zhao there, getting in the way of that disc. Dominic Ryu just dominating on those throws for the assists. Absolutely great picture placement, pinpoint on that throw to Sparks in the end zone.
A big Canadian contingent here in the stands. They have done their best to support their compatriots in the mixed final, unfortunately unsuccessfully. So surely they're hoping that they will manage to push the last chance for a Canadian gold medal in this Masters Women final.
Spoiler alert there if you haven't seen any of the other finals today.
Here's an equally impressive throw. Pull by StellO. Synchrope. Goes break side to Hoffman. Hoffman puts up a forehand, but the wind takes a little bit of it. Comenda is underneath. Caught by Reboot. Hoffman now quickly sideways, and that's for the score. That was snagged out of the air last second.
Steinfeld with that huge grab for Reboot. That could have been anyone's disc.
It could have been anyone's disc. Lucky for Reboot, they had Steinfeld, who was towering over the other players despite her previous injury. She has that taped up chin. Like you said, great to see her out there. And you can probably hear on the mic that the wind is picking up again. Eventually you will catch a glimpse of the flags that have been put up at the start of the tournament just opposite the pitch number 1. Oh, here's a little celebration. Cute.
And we're gonna get another look at that grab by the 5'11" Steinfeld. She wants to say hi to her spouse, Adrienne, and their kids, Avery and Bennett. So hello, Adrienne, Avery, and Bennett, if you are watching at home.
And it's nice to see Elena Schwamm not losing her swag despite the pressure of a World's final. Ross swings her blue or purple ponytail as she prepares for another pull. It's another huge one. Boulanger collects it out of the air very casually. Centers to Ryu. But will be forced to go back to Boulanger. Ryu rips up a forehand, but that one will be way too short. Smacked to the ground by Gorman. Gorman already 2 goals to her name in this game. Ross picks up for Reboot. That's a spicy laser for Groom. Zipperstein. With a big, that is just out of reach of Ross. Ross stays on the ground, I think. She hit the ground there pretty hard. Boulanger picks up again. Marked closely by Synchrope. That is Castle Synchrope. Zhao now. Lots of pressure from Zipperstein. I think a foul will be called by Vachon.
No contest there, so really good spirit from Zipperstein.
Good read by Ryu. She winds up for the backhand. She sees Sparks. Sparks is there. She gets the disc again. This girl, she winks at you. She winks into the camera and she knows she's on fire. She's gonna have so much fun rewatching this game. StellO tied at 10 with Reboot Squad out of Boston, US. This has been the best final so far, and I am so glad it is these Masters women that are inspiring us on and off the pitch, on the screen, and in real life. Look at that thing of beauty.
Dom with the bomb and an laying out Groom. Sparks Groom, another really good matchup.
Groom put her body on the line, trying to deny that disc, but Sparks, despite losing the sight of the disc for a second, she was able to concentrate enough to put her hands in the right spot. We hear her. We hear from her. I'm not sure what you call it in English. Somebody with the same name.
Sibling, family.
Unrelated. In any case, it is Sarah Sparks, watching Shirley out of Netherlands. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for tuning in. Somebody saying that that was a nice high school connection there. So apparently these players have been playing together for a while. We see a game advisor signaling stoppage. Not sure if that was before the throw or after.
Yeah, it was a pick before the throw. You can see that the Reboot squad just stopped running for it since the pick was called. So unlike North American rules, if a pick is called, you have to catch that disc or it's going to be a turnover. But WFDF rules, if it affected the play in any way, it's going to go back. So players stopping obviously affects the play. It will go back.
So Cohen picking up for Reboot. Goes to Synecrope. Lots of pressure on that pass to France. France examining the options downfield. Trying to activate Mozaffari, but Mozaffari runs through her defender.
Good spirit we're seeing there as she helps up her fellow comrade on the field. It's really nice to see.
Lots of great matchups on this point. Brown and Mozaffari, Synecrope and Green, Commenda versus Cohen, Hoffman versus Dunbar. This is top class ultimate. You could learn so much from this game.
That was a lot of big names that you just said.
I know, in a row. Here's Hoffman, that's a high disc. Dunbar, no! Cohen! A stall out call on the throw.
Uncontested stall out call, so that is a turnover for StellO.
Incredible nerve by Reboot, trusting that they can get the disc back. Great spirit. Here's Commenda. Goes to Green. Layout effort by Synecrope. Green's got nothing on line, up line. Low disc. Brown goes to ground. Nothing there. Hoffman picks up immediately. Dunbar sets the mark. Seems like they're safe for now. Oh, Synecrope through the traffic. 3 players just running through that disc. How? How did Synecrope manage to keep her eyes on it? She will take a sub there due to an injury call and will be replaced by Dory Zipperstein.
Not surprising there. That was a bit of a collision as 2 cutters and their pursuing defenders coming into the same space. But good under pressure grab from Synecrope before taking that injury sub.
Zipperstein fakes the forehand, goes around. Pick call. There was nice effort on that swing pass by Ing. 66 minutes into the game, we're tied at 10. And we've had a point where Reboot started on offense, but StellO managing to force a couple of turnovers out of them. Tangerlini keeps the possession for another bit. Everyone with a chance to breathe in and out on the pitch. Players agree on the stall count. Tangerlini goes break side. That's another high disc. Dunbar gets there, but a Zipperstein. Big fake backhand from Schwamm. Hoffman now. Another stoppage. Pick call downfield.
if you could, like, the intensity in the air right now is absolutely palpable from both of these teams. Just wanting it so badly, you can taste it.
We are getting into the double digits, as this could be, and of course it will be subject to the commentator's curse, the turning point of this game. Here's Mozaffari with a high grab. Hoffman centers the disc. Big backhand into the wind. It's hanging, and it's Dunbar who snatches it out of the air. That girl just flies. Green has the disc. Goes back to Dunbar, who doesn't have a mark yet. Thinks about the deep pass, but her teammates a little too far. Green has it now. StellO really stretching that vert stack. Making space for the in-cuts. Komenda, another outstretched hand. Thinks about the deep put. Goes back. Green with a put into the end zone. It's gonna go out of bounds. Incredible effort by StellO, but that was slightly rushed by Green. I think she saw the open receiver, but put a little too much touch on that forehand.
Yeah, just the wrong edge on that disc, unfortunately. I'm gonna have another look at it. Needed to have more IO inside out rather than that outside in edge. So just if it came curved back into the pitch the other way, that would have been well weighted and perfect.
I think she wanted to sit that into the wind. This is turning into a complete nail biter of a point. So no wonder that the teams will try to calm down, taking a timeout. And as they do, we will take a little break in the commentary booth ourselves. Please stay tuned. We'll be back in a few seconds. Checking out is Rachel Doshnerova and Trowie Weston.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block, unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
The disc gets tapped in after the timeout. Reboot retaken possession after what has been a nail-biter of a point. Several turnovers so far. Reboot started on offense, but StellO really generating turns so far. Here is Zipperstein. But another pick will stop the play. Seems like there was a disc going to the ground, so surely we will have a little discussion about whether that affected the play or not. Of course, many fans in the stands, and I'm sure they will add another few on top in the chat who will have a very clear opinion whether that play was affected by the pick call or not. Luckily for everyone, we have the game advisors watching the games closely from the sideline, not having the authority to issue a binding decision, solely providing their perspective is if asked on it and potentially helping the players with the interpretation of the rules. And it seems like the disc is thrown back to where it landed on the ground.
We've got 946 people watching on the live stream. We have one of our head commentators, Tim Rockwood, saying, let's get to over 1,000 watching on this stream. So tell your friends, we're at 9:55. StellO now.
Komenda goes to Green. Green fakes big. She's got an open Dunbar. Here's a gainer to Ing. StellO nearing the last third of the field. Ing with a huge break side throw, intercepted by Reboot. That was Schwam with the defense. Another hanger put up. Mosafari gets up high, but Ing sort of pulled her a little too much to the front. Here's Komenda, winds up, but a pick called on the cut from Jessie Brown.
And that is a really good defensive play by Ing there. She was going up for that disc early, forcing the Reboot player to also go up for it early, and the disc just sails over both of their heads. So really smart defensive play.
And as you've pointed out in the chat, if StellO retake the lead, this would be the first time after they came in streaking at the start of the game. But in the meantime, there is another turnover, and it seems like Cohen is not satisfied with the state of the disc.
Maybe it was stepped on. I'm not sure, but she is swapping it out for a brand new one.
And these are indeed Discraft discs. They have been provided so kindly by our sponsor, Discraft.
Also sponsors at the tournament, VC, Greatest Bag, and Friction Gloves.
And here's a wobble on the catch. Komenda grabs the disc straight away, goes backwards to Brown. Oh, incredibly low grab by Komenda, but she saves it, keeps possession. Here is Dunbar. She's got the break side open. She goes to Ing, but it is none other than Marie-Christine Jacques with the score, and that's a break for StellO. They regain the lead. Sideline is ecstatic. Canadians go up 11 over Reboot's 10.
What a bomb of a grab from Jacques there, coming into this goal with a whopping 21 goals. Unreal. That is some pressure from the StellO D-line. That much needed break that they needed, and a timeout will be called. Not surprising. Reboot probably wanting to gain a little bit of composure after that.
You give StellO the break side, they will take the break side. Here's the low grab by Komenda for your enjoyment one more time. Lefty high release to Dunbar. And here's Ing streaking deep, but Jacques who comes down with it. Ing, only 4 years of playing Ultimate. That is absolutely incredible. In any case, we will leave you with a little word from our sponsors, and for now, we're checking out. We are back from the timeout after StellO from Ottawa, Canada, retook the lead in this Women's Masters final. You see smile on the faces of Vernay, who we've had the pleasure to interview during halftime. You can go back and re-watch the interviews, the halftime interviews after this game is over. The games will be available at the WFDF channel for your convenience to re-watch anytime. Here's Cami Groom getting ready on offense with the rest of the Reboot team. We have about 25 minutes left of game time. We've been playing 100-minute matches all week long here in Limerick. Who is finally, and luckily for you as well as the finalist, proving to show its sunny, sunny side. Here's a slightly shorter pull out of StellO. De Sabado finally finds somebody in the open side. Gets the disc right back, no swing continuation. Here's the good pressure out of that Canadian D-line that we know so well. Chan finds Wang down the far sideline. Wang puts it into the end zone, and that is a wonderful collection by Casey Gorman, scoring her third goal of this game.
Casey Gorman is actually an executive director off the field, and she lives in Yardley, Collingswood.
Well, she was directing that point, wasn't she?
Just a big shout out right now to our two awesome game advisors for this game, Dominic Smith and Kat Gale, wearing the beautiful green jerseys, walking up and down the sidelines and providing their expertise during that game. Jerseys provided by VC, our apparel sponsor throughout this tournament, and there is still some apparel left. If you are here and present, you can go just to the, I want to say the north side, or maybe the east side of the pitch beside the stands. The VC apparel has moved into there and will be available until the end of the tournament.
Ross preparing, checking the wind. She's going to be putting up another one of her huge backhand pulls for Reboot.
And we have gotten to 1,000 viewers on on the YouTube channel.
So exciting. Thanks everyone for watching. Here is the StellO O-line. Stellar StellO O-line. Boulanger goes to Ryu. Ryu missing out on some of the cuts downfield. Boulanger has it again. They know they have to swing it wide. Ross gets there to prevent the break pass. Ryu back to Boulanger, and that disc slides out of her hand. Negus smacks it to the ground. Ross picks up immediately. Here's a chance for Reboot for a break. And that is a thing of beauty for the score through the break side. And just like that, Reboot take the break back. Jackie Wang with adding a goal to her stats. She's had 1 assist already and even 1 important block in one of the previous points. This is an exciting turn of events.
Yes, Reboot squad retaking the lead, back on serve. Really cool and calm, collected offense. Beautiful break around after that. Unfortunate turnover from the StellO line.
Just when you think Ross will not step around for that break side anymore, that is exactly what she does. Maybe it is also time to mention that the 3rd place game took place between Lowercase out of Canada and Soar out of the US. The Americans coming out on top 15-12, victorious.
This game is not over yet. 12-11 for Reboot squad. The StellO line back on the field.
Boulanger centers the disc for StellO, goes to Comenda, who has again crossed over to the StellO O-line. But this is a high release. We've had a few of those. Who's gonna come up with the garbage? It's Vachon. Vachon goes immediately to Dunbar, and Dunbar for the score to Stephanie Cole. That was very lucky for StellO, but still counts regardless. StellO making sure they stay close. We're 3 points away from hard cap. 20 minutes still from time to go.
Get another look at that shot downfield. Lots of bodies underneath it. I think she had eyes for Dunbar, not noticing that the stack was also just as deep.
She 100% wanted it to sit flat and sort of continue into the end zone. Alicia Zhao has 2 assists to her name in this game. She's adding a goal as well.
8 assists and 19 goals coming into this game for Zhao. She is one of the scoreboard leaders for StellO.
And seeing her in the other games, sporting the beautiful braids, I am not surprised. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Absolutely lovely matchup between the top Canadian and American teams. here in the finals of WMUCC. Reboot squad taking on StellO. It has been the tightest matchup so far, and let's hope it will stay so. Hoffman goes to France. Back to Hoffman. Give and go action with Cami Groom. France holsters that throw, but finds Hoffman. Here's the big swing to Groom. She gets there on time, but has to lay down for it. Little bump on the mark will not be called. They're not afraid of contact. Hoffman now entering the last third of the field. Groom sideways to France. Game stoppage.
We can hear the APOC players on the field beside us yelling and cheering for the defense.
And here is Groom with a break side throw to Hoffman into the end zone for a score. Reboot with a clean offensive hold. They've had several throughout this game, but StellO keep applying the defensive pressure time and time again. 13-12 the score right now. Troy, I am standing up, and I think I'm gonna stay up until the end of this game.
I have been standing up since before half, I think. This is just a very exciting game to watch. Here's that low grab from Groom again. Excellent use of the break side continuation there from Reboot. And I will mention, I was reading, I think I was saying earlier, I was reading some of the Spirit scores and the things. Both of these teams coming into this game with really excellent Spirit scores across the board. But I noticed in the earlier game of StellO versus Reboot that StellO mentioned on the Spirit score that they really want a Reboot jersey. So
not surprised, yes.
Reboot players, make sure you find a StellO afterwards, maybe for a jersey trade.
And a beautiful hanging pole lands all the way in the end zone. Ryu signaling that she wants a player in the open side. Now the stall count's rising. She gets it off to Boulanger eventually. But all these StellO players quite far away. Here's Zhao. Zhao to Vichon. And we hear, I think, first of all, a foul on the mark, as well a little bit of opinions regarding the catch. Out of bounds, inbound. Zhao will get the disc back. Boulanger for the reset. Vichon now has it, gets a good gainer to Polowick. Polowick looking center, but that's too high. Defense gets in the way. It's Jackie Wang. She's had a block already. Now she gets another interception. But this one is very much for Zhao.
Where was
to
that
smack
going?
to the ground. To an imaginary friend. There are so many on the field. We've had them on the stream before, haven't you noticed? It happens once in a while, but here's another wobble by StellO. Ross picks up immediately. She has no mark on. She activates the handler. Goes sideways to Wang. Gets it again, rips it into the end zone. It's curving, it's going over the intended receiver, but StellO got a hand on that. I couldn't quite see as there was an obstacle in the way, but excellent last second effort by StellO. They need to get, that was incredible technique. Oh, how high did Kogel have to get for that one? I hope the photographers on that far side of the pitch got a good look at that and caught that moment. And we can put it on a poster later. Here's Boulanger. StellO needing an offensive hold. They are going into the wind a little bit. There hasn't been much of it so far. But if they want to rip it, it will have to be a laser. Defense is underneath this time again for Reboot.
I think that was a bit of an ambitious shot from Ryu there. Not seeing that Reboot was a bit deeper than the defenders, or the offense.
Wong goes to Wang. Here's Chen. 2 assists to her name so far. Good grab by Negus. And that's another put. And I don't think the players realize that the wind has really picked up in the meantime. And it is coming sort of towards the camera, but also from right to left. Those high release throws will just not do for the last part of the game. So another chance for StellO to redeem themselves. They are stuck in a bit of a coffin corner, but Boulanger does not know the word coffin. She puts up a big floaty forehand. Ryu comes down with it, and here's the continuation from Polowick. Polowick looking for the end zone. She gets it. That's Vachon with the score. StellO stay alive, and they tie at 13.
That was a much better weighted pass from Ryu the second time around, ending it just outside the end zone. We can see this, the fans in the stands. I believe that's Epoch, who played in the final earlier.
But it is, after all, these women who are serving us top-class women's ultimate. Let's see that ripper from Boulanger again. It curves so nicely, and again, great awareness by Ryu.
That was a nice read.
She just doesn't care. She's going to put up another one. Polowick tried to jump it in. That could have been sparks for another goal. But eventually, Vachon makes her run for it. What an exciting final. 12 minutes left of the game time. 2 points to point cap. And I am just loving the energy. This is, we couldn't have asked for more, Troy, really.
13-13, both teams showing some absolute brilliant work, both on offense and defense on the field. Both teams have had a few breaks each. We are on serve right now. Neither team is up a break, but because StellO started on D, they will need a break to win. Reboot just need to hold.
Shelly Cohen goes with the backhand to the forehand side to Groom. Back to Cohen in the middle. Lots of pressure from Ing on her. Here is Hoffman. And a play stops, as I think Groom might not have liked the contact on the release.
Game advisor Dominic Smith just stepping in to figure out what was happening, because that was a couple of throws ago. Oh, travel.
A travel call. Well, if I'm honest, I only saw Jacques pointing to the ground there. I didn't really see an actual travel from Groom, but
that's just the only thing that makes sense from that replay. There was absolutely zero contact. They were quite far apart,
So, an unfortunate wobble from De Sabado gives a chance to StellO for what might be the most important break of this game. We've had a few. Here's another high release lefty.
They are moving downwind. This is the easier side to break on.
Brown is looking for the break side. She does get it. The defender's on the ground. Dejanay for the end zone, for the score. Ing
Pick.
will not add another one for the scoreboard to StellO, as the disc will go back due to a pick.
What a fake from Brown to get her mark on the ground first of all, though.
Dejanay knocking on the doorstep. They will be looking through the break side again. Comenda in the middle. Sorry, Green in the middle. Green steps around for Dunbar. Dunbar looking for the continuation. Nothing there. She takes a timeout. Woof. And I hope everyone is at the edge of their seats. This could be a huge comeback for StellO. They have retaken the lead in the second half already, but have lost it almost straight away as Reboot come back with a break of their own. And as the teams take a timeout, we will take a little break in the commentary booth ourselves, checking out. back after a timeout. StellO with a chance to regain the lead in this Women's Masters final. Dunbar just on the end zone line.
A veteran call on the timeout.
An overthrow to Green. So this will be a turnout as Reboot move quickly the other way. Big fakes from Seinfeld. Here's a swing to Des Sabado. Goes to Hoffman on the sideline. Groom now with a gainer. Takes it around to Hoffman. They try to swing it, but good positioning on the mark. Again, some of the best matchups out there. Seems like there was either a pick or a foul call downfield. It is turning a little chilly here in the arena. But luckily, these players are staying hot. Hoffman. This would be a violation, I believe. These players have moved a bit too early before that check. Should be checked in by the mark, so Dunbar should be touching the disc. Shouldn't be tapped off the ground, but that's okay. Let's move on. Here is Cohen. Finds the up line for Tangerlini. Tangerlini for the score. Hoffman adds another one to her stats.
Reboot now just 1 point away from the championship title at this World Masters Club Championships.
Hoffman with an impressive track record of 4 goals in this game so far. We've been boosting about Sparks. She's done a great job for the Canadian side, but Hoffman obviously 4th goal in a row, knows exactly where to stand in the end zone to get that point. Less than 5 minutes, regardless, it will be a game to 15. We couldn't have asked for a tighter final. These teams are really fighting it out there, showing us the best women's ultimate there is. Despite the Masters division, obviously, lots of these players still active in the regular women's division. You will see many of them competing at WCC later on this year. But before that, they have a world's title to play for. Sparks, Boulanger, Brown, Comenda, Zhao, Vachon will set up for the Canadian offense. The wind really picking up again. Boulanger with a low grab. She is not afraid. Brown to Zhao. Another pick call will be called on Zhao, but she will retain possession. Zhao gets low. Almost out of reach for Boulanger. Incredibly athletic grab. She thinks about it. She wants to put it, but she'll go backhand side to Comenda. And that disc will go in between the hands of Comenda to the ground. Reboot with a chance to take the title. Here is Groom. She's streaking. She finds Wang. Wang in front of the end zone. Groom in the middle. Nothing in the break side. Continuation. Into the stone for Broom. And that is the end. Reboot wins.
Unbelievable game. What a heartbreaker for StellO, but you can see them all going on the field. Their spirits are still high. Silver medal, they really took it to Reboot Squad, probably gave them the absolute toughest game they had all tournament long. A big congratulations to Reboot for the win and StellO for that silver medal. What a game, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want more Ultimate, please tune into the exclusive World Games coverage of the preliminary rounds of the Flying Disc in many of the World Call Ultimate on July 12th, 13th, and 14th from Birmingham, Alabama. The Olympic channel. Online is our exclusive distribution partner, and coverage will also be available on www.wfdf.sport. We will have an all-star team of commentators, just like here in Limerick, to bring you 12 preliminary round matches among the 8 national mixed teams. Tom Stiles, Rachael Toshnarova, Liam Grant, Becky Thompson will be in Madrid providing live commentary, while Evan Lepler, Megan Tormey, Daryl Stanley, and Charlie Eisenhood host pregame, halftime, and post-game coverage. So if you enjoyed what you saw here this week, folks, tune in again.
And as you see some of the highlights out of the most exciting final from WMUCC from Limerick, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, our viewers at home, all the fans here around the pitch, the WFDF, the wonderful 120 plus volunteers out of 20 countries, all of our sponsors, the WFDF, Discraft, VC Ultimate, Friction Gloves, Greatest Back. Have I forgotten anyone, Troy?
You have an entire list of people to get through.
I'll just continue going. So, Limerick Organizing Committee, our LTTV production crew, Mike Palmer in particular, Milan van den Bovenkamp, Jack Lilwall, Rob Henderson, Edgar's Dimpers, Nick Jan Ho, Noah Brinkworth, and of course our guest commentators, Bjorn Shea, Etienne Fournier, Hannah Pendlebury, Sean Colfer, Charlie Mercer, and the rest of our regular commentator crew, Benjamin Rees, Gigi Morrison, my beloved fellow commentator, Troy Weston, and of course, Lorcan Murray as the lead commentator for our crew this weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember that the stream is copyrighted by the World Flying Disc Federation. We will be looking forward to welcoming you to more action this year, this season. Great ultimate, great spirit. We're checking out.
TV. TV.